go. Right then, chaps, for the official ones, how are we doing?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Here.
Yeah, good. Josh, David, how's it going?
Good, yeah, all good.
Good. If anyone's watching, howdy. I doubt you will be yet, or at all, but if you do, give us a wave. Right then, Bears Corner then, chaps. Last week it was it was an improvement on the week before, but that wasn't difficult, was it? That was pretty tragic stuff, and yeah, it's still not great. It still isn't good. More aimed at myself and probably Scott than you two. You two did a little bit better, but yeah, it's not looking good. We're not covering ourselves in glory at this point. So improvement needed. Let's put it that way. Right. So me and Scott scored, I think, the exact same amount of points on the same games. So absolutely no change there. I maintain that 5-point lead. I'm up to 70. Scored 6 points up to 70. Scott scored 6 points up to 65. Josh 8. So not good, but much better than most of us have been doing recently. Although you've actually been in a bit of a purple patch comparatively with the rest of the idiots. So I suppose that's something. But yeah, you had 8 up to 91, but David regains the lead with 9 up to 92. A couple of those double jokers. What was it? A Wolves win, Norwich win. Thankfully, didn't do too much damage. Just a couple of extra points for you both, but that's been a difference between the bottom two and the top two. So starting to be cut adrift. 20 odd points now between me and you guys. So I need some kind jokers. So if you could all go against like Chelsea or City or something this week and joke me or something, that'd be great. Although I say that, not straightforward games for either of those sides. You might argue one of them is, but we'll get to that. So I suppose we better get started then. Arsenal, Newcastle. We've got to start with David. We all backed Newcastle last week, and they bloody let us down with an absolute storming 3-3 draw.
Yeah, it's a lot more exciting now, though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's like saying we did well by beating our scores the week before. But yeah, no, I know what you mean. It is, it's certainly an improvement.
Yeah, I mean, if we can't beat Brentford, we're not going to beat Arsenal, are we? So,
well, on paper, no.
I think Eddie Howe is still missing out because of COVID. So I don't see us getting anything. I've gone 3-1 Arsenal. 3-1
Arsenal. Back to normal for David then.
Yeah.
For some of these, I suppose we'll come to Josh now. Other side of the coin. Is it the first? It's not the very first like teams playing each other or anything, is it? But I suppose the last time was first game of the season, wasn't it, David? United Newcastle.
We definitely played Notts Forest first game of the season.
No, first day of the season.
I don't think we played Man United yet.
No, first game of the season wasn't it United Newcastle, but back then, David, I had absolutely no hope whatsoever.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And United were terrible and still won comfortably, 4-1. So it was a strange one. This is where it starts to get a little bit closer. It's got to be closer than back at the start there, surely.
Yeah, I'd have thought so. Arsenal 60% of the time now probably playing well. I can't know. Obviously, it's usually 20%.
Well or better?
Better, shall we say? But they're on the run. Obviously, we've got dicked by Liverpool, but Liverpool are a different
happen, isn't it? Yeah.
Level at the end of the day. But yeah, I think Newcastle. I've always been a fan of Newcastle, but
why?
I don't know. I really don't know why at all. My brother supports them, but I have no idea why he supports them. But yeah, I think Arsenal will get the 3 points, but I think it'll actually be quite a boring game. So it'll be 1-0 Arsenal for me.
1-0 Arsenal. Right, same results, but a contrast there, Scott. So which way are you swinging on that?
Neither.
He's going for it.
I'm going for the draw.
No, he's not quite going for it.
No, I'm going for the draw. But I'm hoping they follow suit like last weekend, and I've gone 2-2.
Another sort of bit of a goal fest then. No, I'm somewhere between Josh and David. I think you get a 3-3 draw. That doesn't happen again the next week unless you're that sort of team that has those sorts of results all the time, which I don't think either of these sides are. Arsenal have improved, but they're not like free flowing Arsenal of old, are they? It's like it's grinding out 1-0, 2-1, whatever, which is, you know, more important than all the goals and all the excitement to begin with. So I think I sort of hedging a little bit, going a bit boring. I'm going 2-1 Arsenal. It's just a little bit of a quality difference, and like David mentioned, Howe can't really have been involved. So if he's missing from COVID, presumably means he's not taking training, and that implementation of ideas and stuff like that's going to take a while anyway. And if he's not there, it's going to have an effect. So yeah, 2-1 Arsenal. On to the next one then. One of those games for us. Like, don't think we got them right at any point. Palace and Villa. I backed Palace last week, and they let me down. So I don't want to back them again. I'm just going to go one each here, I think, just purely because I don't really know what to do with it. It's a strange one, isn't it? With I think that Gerrard impact will carry on, but with Palace losing like that last week, I think they need to tighten up, and I think they'll frustrate each other. Scott,
who did Palace play last week again?
Burnley won it. Burnley beat them. So I think
I just couldn't decide. It was, you know, one of those sort of flip of a coin results. I don't really know.
I don't mean to be disrespectful to anyone, but I don't care either. It's another one of those games I just don't care.
I think that, you know, Gerrard sort of uplift carries on a bit. 2-1 Villa. It could be 2-1 the other way. It could be 1-0 either way. It could be 1-1. It's just one of those games, isn't it?
Well, we'll see. What does David think?
Well, I like you guys.
More importantly, what does she? Oh, is it your dad who always gives you the Villa tips?
No, it's West Ham.
Oh, that West Ham. No, that's yeah. That was a stupid thing to say, then, wasn't it?
It was. We're live now. We're live now, mate. So I can't even edit it out. And to be fair, I wouldn't. Don't worry, no one sees this anyway.
I mean, as I was saying, don't care about this game in the slightest. So I've just gone 2-2. Hope it's a good game.
Not gonna watch it. It's nothing more to say. Josh.
Exactly the same as David's.
Don't
care. There will be goals, and it'll be 2-2.
Fine. We'll move swiftly on from that one then. I don't know if it's more interesting. It's probably more of a relevant game to the league. I don't think there's going to probably be too much of a difference in opinion on it though. Liverpool, Southampton. We'll start with Scott this time.
I just think, is it a question of just how many are Liverpool going to get? Comfortable win for them, 3-0. Not much else to really add to it.
No, too good. Josh?
Surprisingly, I think Southampton are actually going to put a bit more of a fight up than Arsenal did last week. So I think it's going to be 3-2.
3-2. Think it'll be that close?
Yeah.
I think Southampton will get on the score sheet, but I think Liverpool they're just too good. African Cup of Nations this January or whenever it is, so presumably they'll be losing both Salah, Mane, you know, but a bunch of their players. So I think they'll be desperate to make as much of an impression before then as possible. So I'll say 4-1 to Liverpool. David, I can't imagine you going another way.
Yeah, I've gone 4-0 Liverpool.
Okay.
It was kind of the same as Scott, just how many?
Yeah, fair enough. Not one that needs to be discussed too much, that one. This next one might, to be fair, Norwich may be a little bit more relevant now. And Wolves, again, most of us have got wrong. Josh got them right last week, but they're a difficult side to call. And I think Norwich have upset a couple of us now, haven't they, with wins when we've naturally gone the other way. Is it time to start backing Norwich occasionally, or is that the last 2 they've won? Can't win 3 on the bounce, can they? David, I'll come to you first to answer that.
Well, I've gone for it. I've
gone
2-1 Norwich.
2-1 Norwich.
They got me points last week because you all joked with me.
Yeah. I feel like you just threw that one out there, and now it makes you look clever, and you're doubling down. Josh, you had the Wolves result last week, so do they trip up? Going Wolves again.
Norwich are plucky, but I think Wolves are going to win 2-1 from there.
Close though.
Yeah, a bit boring game, but there's no quality in either of the teams, is there? So, yeah.
Don't know about that.
I've got the same as Josh. 2-1.
2-1 Wolves.
Yeah.
I'm second guessing myself a little bit because I had 2-1 Wolves, but I'm not so sure now that I think about it. Maybe I'm becoming. I'm Norwich on the FM.
You're a bit biased now.
Maybe I'm a little bit biased. Maybe I can I'm learning about the club, you know. No, I think I can't see Norwich winning. Just by and it's absolute gambler's fallacy. Just the fact that they've won a couple. So do they win 3 on a row? No, which is ludicrous way of thinking about it logically. But I just don't see it happening. So I'll go 2-0 Wolves. I think that little run ends, and I still don't think Norwich have got enough to stay up. I think they're too much sort of. They're rooted, aren't they? And even though they might have a bit of a lift, I still think they go. I don't know if this is a tough one or not. Maybe like on paper at the start of the season it'd be a really difficult one to call. But Brighton Leeds. We'll come to Josh first on this one. It's a tough one to call. This.
It is. Are Brighton on the downfall now? Are Leeds?
Well, it depends what you mean, because if you're talking about Leeds as in like last season Leeds, no, they are absolutely not.
Who did they have on the week? Tottenham. Was it Tottenham?
Drew. Did they draw? Yeah, Drew Tottenham, didn't they?
Yeah. So who knows?
Well, the Spurs. I forget. Spurs won. Did Spurs win?
Spurs won
2-1, didn't they?
Yeah. Was it Everton? I can't remember the other.
Who cares?
But yeah, Leeds Brighton. I think it'll be a good game. I think
I think it's about time.
Will be into each other.
Yeah.
But I overall think it'll just be. I'm tempted to go 0-0.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do it.
Nah, let's go 1-1.
He's scared. He's bottled it.
Takes a goal in the first 5 minutes. Well, I'll bet goal. Well, pick's goal.
Yeah, that's what it'll be. It's 3-1 Brighton for me. I've delayed. It's a pride thing. I delayed enough getting on the Brighton train. Although believing the Brighton train was there, I just never got on, and I feel like I've missed the stop a little bit. So I'm just desperately trying to get back on it again before it sort of stops, if it does. So yeah, fairly comfortable. Leeds probably get on the score sheet. Similar game to the Spurs, I think. But yeah, I think Leeds have lost their mojo a little bit, and Brighton, I think, will just keep grinding on. David's been on the Brighton train a little bit longer. What are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, if you'd asked me about this game a few weeks ago, it would have been a case of how many for Brighton. But I've hopped off the train, unfortunately.
That's probably why I've got on in your space.
I couldn't bring myself to go for a Leeds win, so I'm kind of like clinging onto the back of the train. I've gone 1-0 Brighton.
You're still just about on it. Scott?
I mean, you probably should have got off the train, mate, because getting on that train and going for a strong performance from Brighton. 2-0 win.
2-0. Not much love for Leeds though. Josh the closest to it, so we'll have to see. Don't know if there's any jokers flying in there, but next one's a tough one as well. I should probably just stop saying it about like 8 out of 10 games every week, but it is those teams outside of the top sort of 2 or 3, outside of like Liverpool, City and Chelsea, and then even the bottom ones now in like your Norwiches have found a little bit of a bounce. Everton struggled the last few games. Brentford's good in the big games, not so good in the other, and then random 3-3 draws with there are all sorts of results come out of Brighton, out of Brentford games. I don't know how either team approach this. David, you're the sort of closest thing to an Everton fan, I suppose, with your Rafa love, but surely Everton have got to go and sort of, they're going to feel like they've got to try and win the game, surely, but that doesn't necessarily play out how they want then. That sort of plays into Brentford's hands a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, this was the game that took me longest to choose on a result, because Brentford scored 3 against us, but defensively we are awful, and Everton will be a lot better under Rafa defensively, so I don't think they'll concede that many. But is Calvert-Lewin still out for Everton?
I don't know. I think so, probably. I saw him tweet about being back stronger or whatever, and I don't think you do that if you're out for a week, do you?
No.
So
they just can't score at the moment, can they? No. So
well, they're still struggling with injuries in like attacking areas and stuff, aren't they?
Yeah.
You've got to pick though.
I've written down, but I don't rate it at all, and I don't want to say it because I'll go 1-1.
Go 1-1. That's
what I've got written down, so I'll have to change.
That's the I don't know score coming in. That's the 1-1. I've gone 1-1 as well because I just can't pick, and I don't think it's a high scoring game. Brentford just had one of those. Rafa doesn't want that. I think he'll try and grind it out, but I think Brentford have just got that. Plucky was the word you used for Norwich, Josh, and Brentford have got that in abundance, haven't they? So, yep, 1-1 for me. Scott?
I think I agree with what you guys have said. I just think I back Brentford a bit more. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game. I don't think it's going to be an exciting game in the slightest. A Brentford 1-0 win.
1-0. Interesting. Okay, Josh, which way are you going? Could be either.
I'm going on the Everton train.
Okay.
I think they are bound to turn their bloody page at some point. And Brentford are...
I can't.
Literally a lucky dip with Brentford.
Yeah. They're an enjoyable little side, aren't they? They're like a, I wouldn't want to support them, but they're that sort of team that you're like, Brentford did all right. That's fine. I'm all right with that.
Right, and I'm not going to be too bothered if I get this wrong. So you know what I mean, because it's Brentford. But I'm going to go for a 2-0 Everton.
Okay, so we've got a swing there,
that's a strong pick, mate.
None of us are saying high scoring though, are they? You watch this be 4-2 one way or the other or something. Go. As much as we know. Now these buggers, Burnley, Spurs, have upset a couple of us on a few clear occasions, and stuff taking a little bit of time, as you'd expect for maybe Conte to get his sort of philosophy across. And I think we said last time, if you actually look at Spurs' team, it's not good. It ain't great. There's not a lot of good there. But Burnley do what Burnley do. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. David, does Conte work his magic this week, or?
I hope not. I've gone for a result that I want to happen rather than I think will happen. And that's 1-0 Burnley.
Gone for the Burnley win again. Bold call. Just like you say, just a want down at the bottom there rather than.
Well, no. In theory, I'd want Tottenham to win because it would help Newcastle, but I don't like Tottenham. So.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, not many people like Tottenham. I wouldn't have thought.
Nope.
Apart from over the years to play against, because it's a big game, but one that generally one that the other big teams that we support win. So, Josh, you love Spurs, so
yeah, big fan. I think Burnley are also going to get the 3 points this weekend. Is it going to be both teams to score? Probably, but then that minimises chance of Burnley winning.
Yeah, how many do Burnley score?
Exactly. They're not going to score 3 ever.
So it's 2-1 then.
Well, they did obviously week before last, whatever
they
it was.
did, yeah.
But against Tottenham, then good at the back. I don't think with Chris Wood and what's his name?
Barnes.
Barnes. Yeah, 2-1 Burnley.
Scott, siding on the Burnley, shaking your head.
No, and I nearly had a 0-0 for this. I don't think, even with new manager bounces or whatever, I don't think Spurs have got enough. I don't think Burnley have got enough quality to win the game. 1-1.
1 each, hedging a bit. All right then, fine. I'll back Conte. I am a big Conte fan, to be fair. I think
you are a massive Conte, to be honest.
Well done, mate. It was a good effort.
Josh liked it.
Yeah.
Because I was actually thinking about it.
Yeah. Josh chuckling away at a little pun like that isn't a good thing for you. that's your target audience right there.
The target audience at the moment is me and
why do you do this? It makes it look like there's 2 people watching, and there isn't. You're just you. You don't need to watch it. You're on it. You can see it happening. Just massaging the figures. Anyway, no, I'm backing him to get this right. I'm not going to say that he's working with limited resources, but I think he'll get them sorted here, and I think it's 2-0 Tottenham. He's going to start from the back. And that's the sort of. I don't agree that he's a defensive coach, but it's foundations from a solid sort of back 3, back 5, or whatever you want to call it. I haven't watched Tottenham since he took over, so I don't know what they're doing, but I trust that he's going to get it right, and I think that it's probably time. Burnley have had a couple of decent results, and it's about time they don't win in 5 or 6 games or something like that again now. So, yeah, I think decent win for Spurs. We're waiting for Leicester to turn, all of us. They haven't yet. Are they going to? Scott?
No, I don't think they're going to. I think right now, Watford are probably a better side. And I'm strongly backing it. I think Leicester will score, but they won't win. 3-1 Watford.
Okay. Interesting. Could be some jokers there, I think. Josh?
Yeah. 3-0 Leicester. I'm confident of this one.
Can turn it. Yeah, you hate Watford.
Yeah. Nothing more to say. They're just going to get dicked. Fine.
David, which side? We've got pretty almost mirror image opinions there.
Yeah, I've gone 2-0 Leicester.
Yeah.
I do weirdly agree with Scott. I think Watford are the better team. I just think Leicester will win.
Yes, I'm with you. And after Watford's result last week, again, it's a bit of the gambler's fallacy in me, and I don't. I probably rely on this sort of silly thinking too much, but I don't think a team like Watford that get a result like that against a team like United then go and win the following week against anyone that's half decent. And I don't know if Leicester are going to turn in any sort of dramatic fashion and sort of turn into a good season, but they're not a bottom half of the table side or whatever. For me, there's still plenty of quality there. The manager's good. Maybe they need it freshening up or whatever. Be interested to see if they do anything in January. But it's a 2-0 Leicester for me as well.
It's the return of Claudio, isn't it? So.
Well, there's that, and it's just an after the Lord Mayor show thing. It's just you don't those sorts of sides don't beat Man United 4-1 and then go and like on a run and win games next week. It's just not how it happens. It probably will now, but generally speaking, that's what happens, isn't it? They pull the big performance out, and then Leicester will grind them, and it'll be probably quite an even game, and just nick it. But we'll see, won't we? This is a real tough one for me. It's one of the tougher ones that City are involved in, I think. We'll come to you first, David, for your insider knowledge. But City, West Ham probably a bit disappointed in the last couple of weeks, but they've got the tools to bounce back, and I think they can trouble City.
Yeah, they'll be really disappointed losing to Wolves, but I just think City have got too much. So I've gone 4-2 Man City, and just think it'll be a good game. Well, I hope it's a good game.
Yeah, I think most of us will be going for goals. So yeah, we'll see in a second. But Scott,
there's going to be goals. It's going to be a relatively close game, I think. But I think Man City have got enough to edge the game. 3-2 City.
I'm sort of with you there. I don't think the sides are level, but I think West Ham are the sort of team that will trouble City, and I think it's home advantage that gives them the edge. So yeah, I'm on a 3-2 as well. Where are you at, Josh?
In my head, then I've gone literally from swinging to swinging. I've got no idea. Like Man City pulled it out the bag last night, but again, they just haven't got that centre forward just to do the thing that they're missing.
But they're still.
West Ham, I didn't back them last week, but it's because I just knew Wolves were going to win.
It's a reverse of what I was saying before. Is like West Ham losing to Wolves. Surely they've got to bounce back, but they're up against one of the two or three best teams about. So
yeah, it's a difficult one. 2-0 Man City.
2-0, not even on the score sheet, West Ham.
Not even on the score sheet.
God, you've plucked that from somewhere, haven't you?
Yeah, just over there.
Right. An interesting one, not just because I'm a United fan, but obviously not a lot will have changed management-wise, but a lot of developments today. So Chelsea, obviously by a distance, the better team at Stamford Bridge as well. Can't see United winning the game. I'm struggling to see past my bias and even for a draw, but I think after being shown up for the last 3 weeks, got a decent result in midweek, although the first half was still pretty poor. They can't let that happen again, I don't think. I think like they, even though there's incoming managers or whatever, I think it's a case of you really cannot let it happen again. And actually, Carrick showed a little bit of sort of tactical astuteness against Villarreal the other night. So was it the other night? Was it last night? It was last night. So I think it will be better, but I think Chelsea 2-1 for me. Josh?
The same for me. I liked the way that Carrick played Ronaldo, but overall I think Tuchel's just going to have the master tactics just able to dominate most of it.
They're just a balanced side. I think quality. Yeah. I don't think there's a massive amount of difference if you got United playing properly with the full team and whatever. Yeah. I don't think there's a lot of quality difference, but they've got like you say, they've got a manager that's got them properly. They're the most balanced team in the league, I think.
I just feel like Manchester United's missing a midfielder.
Yeah,
every time
so's every Man United fan for the past 3 or 4 years, but no one else has spotted it apparently. So 2-1 Chelsea. Scott.
I decided to take a risk on this one because I assumed everyone was going to go for a Chelsea win, and I need to do something to try and gain those 5 points back and close the gap. But I'm not overly confident, so
no, neither would I be.
1-0 Man U.
Oh God! You think Man United are going to keep a clean sheet?
We'll go 1-0 Man U.
Okay.
I'm just going to repeat myself over and over
again.
Yeah,
that's cool, man.
Because you did this to me last time.
That's cool. Hey, look, mate, Scott.
I'm pretty certain last time you did this and I changed my result, the original one that I had was the one that came in.
I hope that's true, but I mean, look, I hope you're right. Really, I do. But I think the game last night was the first clean sheet we kept since like October or something like that. in like 8 games, something stupid like that. So, but whatever. Like I say, I hope that happens. I'll be over the moon for it. Can't see David being that generous to United though.
No, definitely not.
No.
I've got the typical 2-0 Chelsea.
2-0 Chelsea. That's where I was originally, but then it's I've got to give United some chance, and there is enough quality for United going forward that some player could just pop up somewhere, I think, but no, perfectly reasonable. Jokers then, Josh. I feel like you perhaps have got yours. You were pretty. I forget which result it was in, but
mine's going on Scotty 2 Hotty.
Oh, for the Watford win.
Yeah, the Watford win.
Okie dokie. Anyone else?
I've got 2 to pick between, and I'm not sure which one to go with. And I can't remember what everyone's results were. I've just written it next to the ones that I was looking at. David, what was your prediction, mate, on the Norwich Wolves game? A Norwich win?
Yeah, Norwich 2-1.
With a joker, Josh, actually, on the Brentford Everton game.
What, the 2-0 Everton?
Yeah.
Ballsy call, that. Like it.
What did you have in the Everton game, Scott?
1-0 Brentford.
1-0 Brentford.
Okay, bit of a revenge joker there, going head to head those two on different games. David, you got yours?
No.
No.
Nobody went for a Newcastle win, did they?
No, mate. There was a draw. Scott went for a draw. a bit of a risk, but you could. You're backing your own result more so than the other one.
Yeah, go on then.
He just pulls his strings.
What Arsenal score did you go for?
David went 3-1. Scott went 2 each.
Yeah.
Right, for me then. Ooh. Well, I'll go David on his Burnley 1-0 against Spurs. That might come back and hurt me, but I just think there that my sort of safety net is I think Spurs will score. And once Spurs score, I am at least not doubling a correct score. So I've got a little bit of safety. So that's all good then, chaps. Well, that's it then. So just to round it off, Premier League news. It's all quieting down a little bit because all of those manager vacancies were sort of quite quickly filled, weren't they? I suppose it's just the Man United one now. So
yeah. What is it? The Spartak Moscow geezer? No,
no, no, it is not. So I was going to do a little bit of an exercise, just as a little bit of a bonus. Who's your? If you're a United fan, Josh, who are you having? Not who you think, but who are you having? I mean, and like realistically, like you can't say like a 50-year-old Alex Ferguson or something like. Realistically, of the ones that are being touted, the ones that are there.
I think Zidane's going to be. Zidane would be where I'd put my tenner.
Is it really? What you think or what you want? What you would want?
There's nobody else out there, really. Who's the other one? Poch isn't available. He said last night in his interview that
Poch is available.
Well, everybody's available.
Poch is available. He didn't want to stay. He didn't want to stay there, does he? He's only there to win the league. Remember, it doesn't have to be now.
Yeah.
So what's actually going to happen by the looks of it is Ralph Ragnick or however you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
Who is the sporting development director or whatever at Lokomotiv Moscow. Is going to be the interim till the end of the season, and then we'll move upstairs to be a sporting director or whatever that looks like a consultancy role for the next 2 years or whatever, and then it will be whoever in the summer.
Yeah, for that Zidane's worth more money. I think it'll be a good. I think he'll do well. It's that midfielder that you're missing, I think. So
that's interesting. We'll see where we'll see. I've got an opinion on that, and I'll come to it. Scott, what are you saying? What would you, if you're a United fan? Who are you hoping for?
I'm not. I have no idea. I have no idea who's around. The only two names that I've heard linked with him is Poch and Zidane, and of the two, probably Zidane.
Interesting, David.
Give it Steve Bruce end the season.
Do you know what? There was actually genuine reports about people like Steve Bruce and Mark Hughes and stuff taken to the end of the season. It's like, are you? I feel like the share price would just go. Like you, of course not. Even the Glazers aren't that stupid. Jesus.
Well, yeah.
Are you on the Zidane train?
Sorry?
Are you on the Zidane train with these players?
Yeah, if I was a Man United fan, I'd want Zidane. I don't think he will, but that's who I'd want.
So I am a United fan, and I don't really want Zidane anywhere near it. I don't rate him as massively as I know. Like he's won 3 Champions Leagues in a row and all of that stuff. But no, he's not the one for me. I can't help being a United fan of the age that I am. I can't help but look for the next long term. I don't want a manager for 3 years if you can avoid it, which I know is the way things are now. But yeah, no, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in that miserable bastard, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be disappointed if he came, because he'd probably bring some. You'd win some trophies, wouldn't you, over a few years? But for me, they're doing the right thing for once with this. I'm quite excited about this Ranić appointment. If he then goes up and does his sporting, I think he's the chap they call the professor, isn't he? Because he's a bit of a at this sporting director role thing. He's a bit of a genius type character.
Oh, actually, can I change my answer?
So for me, before you do, because I think I know who you'll probably say, but for me, I'm happy with Ranić till the summer, step upstairs and be a proper sporting director like modern football clubs actually have, and then you can insert name here, either Poch, happy with Poch, or Ten Hag from Ajax is the other one that I'm happy with. They're the sort of those two and Zidane are I think the 3 that have been the bookies' favourites for any consistent amount of time. What were you going to change to?
Ten Hag.
Yeah. So they're the 2 for me. You could flip a coin and I'd take either of those 2. But I think you could probably get Poch now if you paid the money.
Well, they've just paid out $7.5 million for Solskjaer, is it?
I don't think that matters to us, does it?
No, of course it doesn't. Like,
another 10-12 million on Poch. Poch ain't going to stay there past the summer, I don't think, either way.
No, yeah. Well,
and Zidane, I think
don't think they'll want to keep it past the summer unless they win the league.
Well, fine, but I mean, I could go and win the league with PSG, man. But I think Zidane probably wants the PSG job because he can do a Pep, can't he? He can pick his club, he can walk in, win the league without breaking a sweat, go and try and win the Champions League until Deschamps steps down and he takes the France job, which is the one that I think he really wants.
If he does get the PSG job, do you reckon Mbappe stays?
Maybe, but he's flirted him. He bent over for Real Madrid, hasn't he? So I think, I don't know. Maybe, absolutely maybe. And if that's a factor and they get that out of Mbappe, then I mean Zidane's the appointment, isn't it? But there's probably a gap at Real Madrid for the next superstar, and I think that's what Mbappe wants. Whereas at the minute he's still in there with Neymar, and now he's got Messi to compete with as well. So if he wants to make his own legacy and actually win meaningful trophies, Real Madrid's probably the place that he needs to go. But well, there we go. You're all on the Zidane train. That surprised me a little bit, but yeah, not for me. So anyway, it's a bit Man United focused, but that's the main news, because Newcastle can't do anything yet. They've got all the schmeckles, but they can't do anything just yet. Arsenal are, they're doing all right, mate, but there's nothing interesting happening there at the minute, is there? It's all just sort of going okay,
just riding. We're just
nothing to talk about.
Riding everybody's 4-4, I think.
And you support Forest, Scott, so there's really nothing to say there. So
I don't know. They're doing all right. They're mid-table.
Yeah.
They're mid-table. just the wrong league, isn't it?
Yeah, that's basically it. And I'm not like a Premier League Luddite or anything like that, but I don't need to talk about Forest. There's nothing to say. Sorry, mate.
How's the little side bet looking with the
There's
goal?
nothing wrong with Championship football, mate.
No, there's nothing wrong with Championship football, not at all. But I'd rather talk about the top end or the bottom end. No one wants to talk about mid-table in any league. Everyone wants to talk about the top or the top end or the bottom end. We'd rather talk about Derby, probably.
No.
Don't talk about Derby enough.
No.
Let's talk about there and all.
Well, there's less to talk about now that with their extra points because they're gone, aren't they? So it doesn't really matter now. Yeah.
I think it's 18 points they need in it currently to get out of relegation.
Whatever.
They're still on -2.
We're picking up a point against Fulham.
It's a good result though. A point against Fulham, regardless.
I know, but
it's not enough.
Yeah, I'm not insulting Championship football. It's one of the most exciting leagues going, but Forest aren't one of the exciting teams to talk about just now, are they? So you'll tell me maybe they're heading in the right direction. You know, maybe in a few months we will be, but yeah.
Well, they play West Brom at the weekend, so they won't win, will they? West Brom will have them at the weekend.
Mate, I can't pick Premier League results based on this, so I wouldn't even. You know, I like the Championship, but I at least follow the Premier League, and I can't pick those, so I wouldn't even want to try and guess Championship results without studying it heavily. So, anyway, we've gone on long enough. Hello, Abby, if you're watching. Hope you enjoyed yourself.
She's definitely still there, and I think this is record-breaking, mate, because we've got 4 comments. One from me, 3 from Abby. So.
Oh, they've not popped up for me.
Are you just having a conversation?
No, she just keeps putting random things. There's a laughing face and then a chicken. So I
see
assume
that.
She was taking
That's annoying because it just says unable to connect to chat on mine, so I've not been able to see that. So I just thought she was ignoring us this week. All right, well, whatever. But for the people that do seem to watch it back sometimes, you strange people, hopefully you enjoy this rubbish. Try and catch it live one time, or at least just comment with your predictions and stuff after, so you can beat us. You know, it wouldn't be difficult. And
especially me.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think people are a little bit scared that they go up against you and me, mate, and lose, and then it puts them off.
That's embarrassing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's embarrassing if you go up against me and lose.
But you know, you got to put yourself out there. You know, Scott needs the ridicule to go elsewhere for a bit, so pop yourself in. Easiest way to do that and catch us live or know when this goes up, as well as all the other FM content and whatever that's going on at the minute. Down below, Josh. There's a little like button, little subscribe. Yeah, down where he's looking. Ring his bell, and you will get notified of all this video nonsense when it pops up. So you won't miss anything, which might be a curse, but give it a go for a bit. See how you get on. Otherwise, have a lovely evening, chaps, and I'll see you all soon.
See you later.
Ta-ta.
Bye, all.
Every time.
Yeah, just pops off.